welcome back to the news today. 16-year-old Shira Banki was stabbed at the Jerusalem Gay Pride Parade on Thursday, has succumbed to her wounds. She was in critical condition for 3 days before she passed away. She was one of 6 victims stabbed by ultra-Orthodox Jew Ishai Schliessel, who was released from jail just 3 weeks ago after having served a 10-year sentence for stabbing 3 participants in 2005 Pride Parade. Another victim remains in hospital. Israeli police came under scrutiny after Schliessel was able to get so close to the parade. With me tonight to talk a little bit more about the situation is Amir Ohana, head of the LGBT forum at Israel's ruling Likud party. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. And also correspondent Ayman Sixten. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. Amir, I will start with you. And you wrote a post, a really, let's say, a true post about, and on your Facebook page, about the way that the LGBT community is looking at this entire situation. And instead of looking at it at a human point of view, without a difference between left or right, man or woman, you know, Arab or Jew, they were taking it to the political level. Is it so? Maybe at the end of the day, it is political?
Israel had a terrible, horrible weekend. It was Tu B'Av, it's the Jewish Valentine's, but there was not much love during this weekend. It began, of course, with the stabbing in the Pride Parade, and went on with the murder, the burning of a baby, of Ali Dawabshe and his family. And then, you know, the rally came. It was supposed to be about tolerance and acceptance and against violence. But instead of building bridges, which is what we should have done after these terrible cases, not only between gays and straights, but also between Jews and Arabs, Jews and Muslims. Instead of building bridges, I think what happened yesterday was burning bridges.
It was a political debate between left and right yesterday by the, let's say, the crowd that booed Education Minister Naftali Bennett and asked Naftali Bennett not to go on stage, although he was invited to take the stand and say his, let's say, his things about this. And even Yuval Steinitz, who is also part of the Likud party, he came out and he was talking and everybody booed him because
when you say came out, you have to be careful.
No, yeah, he stood on the stage and he took the stage and he started talking and everybody booed him. It became a political rally. It became, again, the discussion or the disagreement between the left and the right in Israel. And what we're experiencing in the last few months, maybe since the elections, is that it sums up to this: left and right in Israel. And we cannot bridge this. We can only burn it, like Amir is saying.
Well, I think we have to look at how did we get here? How did we get to the point where people are being stabbed in a gay pride parade?
By the same person.
By the same person 10 years later. And I think we also have to be very honest with ourselves and not be naive. We've been seeing an extremely conflicted conversation, political conversation in Israel for quite some time now. This didn't happen in a vacuum. We want to say the people who do this are extremists, they're a minority, and maybe they are, but they're also being fed by statements from sometimes prominent people in the government. You mentioned Naftali Bennett from the Jewish Home Party. Number 8 in his list has called the Gay Pride Parade an abomination several times, before the parade and after the parade and the attack that happened last week. This is something that it shouldn't shock us. The conversation in Israel has been preparing for this for quite some time.
You know, I'm trying to understand, because there was a discussion, and this discussion is always happening on Facebook and on the social media and in the Israeli society, and some people from the left will say, you know what, there is an extreme left. We cannot deny this. There is this extreme left that ignores totally what is happening in Israel, ignores totally the pain of the Jewish people or the Israeli state, and is not looking into it. But it doesn't get to the violent way when the extreme right is taking it. And I'm trying to understand what is wrong, or what is the DNA that went wrong in the right wing in the Israeli society that is taking this to the extreme, that is taking this to the violent, unlike the extreme left that maybe can be really harsh on words and be not politically correct and be racist even, but not taking it in this measure to violent.
First of all, of course, we have to remember that during, I would say, the last 20 years, if you would examine how many of these violent incidents occurred from our right wing towards Arabs, how many right extremists committed murder towards Arab community, I think you would find very little, happily, very little of these cases. Each case is horrible, but when it happens, we deal with it. We deal with it. The murders of the young boy from Jerusalem are in imprisonment. Yes, are in prison, and they're taking trial, and hopefully we will catch also the murders of Ali Dawabshe 2 nights ago. But on the other hand, what happens on the other side, I don't have to say.
Yeah, but
they call streets by their name.
I'm not saying that. I'm not looking at the Palestinian side in this way, because I'm looking at my own society, and this is always coming to pointing the finger towards the Palestinians. Look, when they are killing
well, you
Jewish
said we
people,
don't live in a vacuum. That's right. We don't live in a vacuum.
We don't live
when
in a vacuum.
Someone sees a 2-month-old baby being slaughtered in her bed, I'm talking about Hadass Fogel.
Hadass Fogel and the
when
Fogel
someone
family,
sees
yes.
it, of course the blood furious.
Yeah, the blood furious, but again, I'm not looking at what they are doing, because we're not living in a vacuum, you're right. But is a society should measure itself according to another society? So it's like, from what I'm trying to understand is that, or trying to explain is that if the Palestinians are going and celebrating out in the streets after the murder of a Jewish boy, should the Israeli society do the same?
Well, that's a very good question. I think it's a sad testament to Israeli society. If this is the contradiction that we want to appear more peaceful against, this is not what we should strive to be better than. And if we're talking about left and right within Israel, especially in the context of the Gay Pride Parade, and then the ceremonies that happened after what turned out to be a murder, I think it is true that you see in Israeli LGBT community leftist tendencies, but that's true worldwide. You see leftist tendencies in LGBT communities all over the world, and that's because in Israel specifically and all over the world, usually leftist parties are more forthright and more upstanding in protecting gay rights and in standing for gay rights, because it's part of the DNA, of the social DNA of what this movement stands for.
It's amazing. I want, first of all, thank you very much for this discussion. Of course, this is a time for all of us to look inside each and every one of ourselves and look exactly what we can do for our society and for the Israeli society and what we're doing wrong. But I want to take you to something else. We talked about the Jewish Valentine Day, and maybe this is in the symbol. This is a symbol for the Jewish Valentine Day or for Israeli Valentine Day. Earlier today, I sat down with Fabian Maamri to hear his positive and surprising story of living as a gay man, Lebanese gay man, in Tel Aviv. Look at this. Fabian Maamri is the son of Lebanese immigrants who moved to Sweden in search of a better life. He grew up hearing Israel described as an enemy state, as a militant and altogether negative place. But in 2013, out of curiosity, Fabian traveled to Israel, where he encountered a very different reality. He now lives in Tel Aviv with his boyfriend Avi, and he's joining me tonight to tell his story. Fabian, good evening. Thank you very much for coming.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for agreeing to interview. You know, I want to start with you with a question. 10 years ago, if I would have told you Israel, what would you say?
Well, I don't know what I would say, but I would think a lot. In my life, I've heard, different things about Israel, the good and bad, mostly bad. for some obvious reasons. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say this. People know what I'm speaking about. And it's sad, you know, you never know what's reality until you visit the country, until you get your own vision of it.
And you're coming to the Holy Land, you're coming to this, let's say, problematic place.
Balagan place.
A Balagan place, exactly. Big mess. Balagan is a big mess for our viewers who don't know that. And you're seeing what?
I've seen life, I've seen kindness, I've seen people who love to enjoy their life, you know, and it's very inspiring, and this is the kind of people that I click with. You know?
And it doesn't, like, in your mind, you don't say, whoa, 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 I'm supposed to hate these people. I'm supposed not to like this country. I'm supposed to hate this country. And this doesn't work with my thoughts, with the way that I grew up on.
A little bit, yeah, but at the same time, my family are very modern and very open, and even though I've heard bad things about Israel, I'm raised to make my own opinion about everything and respect people who respect me regardless of what kind of background and where they come from. So that's why I gave it a shot and visited the country in the first place.
And not only that you're visiting, you also found love.
My true love.
Your true love.
Not any love.
Not
true love.
True love.
Yes.
How? Tell me about it.
It was actually on my. Ooh, it's a long story, but I met him on my last day of the trip in the Pride last year. We were in the club and he was a little bit too drunk. He didn't know where he was, what his name was, and I took care of him, took him home, made him feel good. And this time he didn't know English. Nothing. I learned him English now, so he's not a little bit better. And when I went back to Sweden,
but you're telling him that you're from Lebanon, and what? He is telling me, whoa, yeah, this is going to be a really, really easy relationship.
Yeah, the thing is, we didn't have. I was only helping him in this time in the beginning, you know. But he's a special Jewish person. He went to the yeshiva in 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was like a fuch for him. He didn't expect
Not
to.
only that he fell in love with a Lebanese guy, he is also coming from an Orthodox background.
Yes, exactly.
Like more religious background.
Yeah, he was just starting to try out the gay life in Tel Aviv from the yeshiva, and
I want to talk with you a little bit about this picture. You, a Lebanese guy, in the middle of two Israeli soldiers. I have to say that you look amazing. But did you think that this is going to make big controversy, like around the world, like especially in Lebanon, especially in the Arab world, a Lebanese guy like you doing this?
I maybe it would get a little bit of excitement because it shows, you know, peace. And people like that. Of course, who doesn't want peace? You know, it's a picture of love and understanding. And but I never thought it would go like this worldwide, and all the way to Lebanon and to India and China. I've seen also articles.
And in Lebanon, people are telling you what exactly?
Well, they're not so happy because for them it means, since I'm not raised in Lebanon, I don't understand how they see this army, and they've been through things that I have not been through. So I understand all the aggression and all the hatred. But it is what it is, but I understand it completely where they come from. And
lately you posted this picture that we're seeing with you and Avi with two flags. One Israeli, what we're seeing here, one Israeli, one Lebanon's flag, and you're kissing, and this is creating another.
This was a little bit worse, actually. This was, for them, this meant more because it was the Lebanese flag. And I didn't post it now. I posted on the Pride. We took this picture on the Pride. But now, after this picture, people got into my profile and saw it, so it became big now.
I want you, before we're finishing, I want to ask you one question, and maybe you can give Israeli viewers and viewers all around the world an idea, one thing that they don't know about young Lebanese who are living in Lebanon.
What do you mean? What was that?
Something that they don't know about Lebanese. Like you didn't know about Israelis a lot of things. What do people don't know about people from Lebanon?
People here, what they don't know.
Yes, here or around the world.
I think a lot of people that I met in Israel think that it's it's more strict in Lebanon than what it really is. But it's very modern if you go there, and people are very open-minded, and the people are amazing people, exactly like Israelis. It's more of the politics and all of this that goes in the way, and this is how people see Lebanon, through the politics, and it's not always like this. You have big life there. I promise you.
You managed to see beyond the politics, and you found love, which is the most important thing.
Exactly.
Fabian, thank you very, very much for your braveness.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
for this interview.
Thank you.
And yes, first of all, gentlemen, again, thank you, and I will take your sentence. We're not living in a vacuum, and maybe this is the best way to end this broadcast today. Thank you.
This was a great interview, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You.
He is, it was all him. Thank you very much for being with me, and that's it for tonight from the Jaffa Port, Israel. Have peace. Have a great night.